Welcome back, guys. It's been a while. I know that we left off with talking about the recipes. This is speed seduction with the crazy man, Ross Jeffries. All right. And let's continue with what we got going on here. All right. So he says, I know I've talked about recipes. I've said with a proper recipe, there has to be a sequence. Things you do in certain orders. However, I don't want you to think of closing as part of a sequential recipe, okay? I want you to think instead of constantly drawing her in toward physical intimacy with you, sexual desire, feeling close to you and wanting to be with you. That's going on constantly throughout the seduction. From the moment you first look at her till the time you decide you want to kick her out of your house or out of your life or, God forbid, get married. Notice he says, God forbid, get married. Like, that's a bad thing, okay? You married guys out there, you may have your opinions, but a good marriage is something, you know, et cetera, et cetera. You still have to keep seducing. I really want you to get rid of the notion of closing and coming up with a different word. When you first get this power to get women really turned on, if you've lived a lifetime not having it, you can go crazy. When I was first learning this stuff, I wanted to see women's heads pop. He wants to see women's heads popped. Okay, man. Okay. There used to be a movie called Scanners. You can Google it or look it up on YouTube. Scanners was about psychics who could make people's heads explode. I do remember that movie as a child. It was disturbing. These tools are powerful. They really work. When you first learn these tools, you can then enjoy doing it because you get off on it. You'll enjoy getting women turned on because you're getting turned on rather than it being something that's part of the seduction, he says. When you do sexual accelerators, you only want to do enough to get her into the right sexual state, he says. If you press the state into too much intensity, it will either break through into another state like confusion or resistance, or it'll be just so strong that the circuits will shut down. I want to stop and talk about that. You definitely have to calibrate your level of sexual talk, all right? Some people handle it more than others. Some people don't like it at all. And let's be honest, we're in 2024, people. The things that comes out of our mouths are very, how should I say, sensitive to people. We are being watched and listened to all the time. So you have to be super careful. He wrote this book a long time ago, but you have to be super careful in how you deliver this stuff. My opinion, okay, deliver it in doses, little small doses. Deliver your sexual line, one or two things. Smile and laugh about it. Make it into a sentence that's funny and see how she responds before you go all out and say, you know, let's go back to my place. I want to fuck. All right. There was a time and place that people did this. I also did this. Those days are almost over for most people, okay? So, guys, you got to be careful. Slow, see how she responds, and then you can ramp it up more and more. There's only so much sexual energy that a person can take. If you pile it on, it won't be a sign for her to move forward. It'll be a sign for her that she's being overwhelmed. And she will be. She'll be overwhelmed, literally. You know, if you try to isolate her at a club and you bring her back to your VIP table or you take her out to eat afterwards, you know, you're going to have distractions at the club. You're going to have bum, 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 bum. And it's like, I can't even talk to someone like this because I can't hear myself talk. She can't hear me say anything. You've probably been drinking and God knows what in the hell is coming out of anybody's mouth. All right. If you go to a diner or IHOP or Waffle House or whatever you guys have, you know how it is. You leave at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and you're like snoring halfway through your waffle. So you have to really plan out the times that you're going to be doing this, like quite a bit. I like to tell this story. He says, a student once said to me, Ross, I was doing your stuff with a girl in a bar. She was getting so turned on. She gave me this awesome kiss, looked at me and said, I'm just one beer away from fucking your brains out. I transitioned into the blowjob pattern. From there, I went into a demo. But eventually she seemed to be bored and walked away. What pattern should I have used? Well, first of all, he's got all these patterns and everything ready to go and lined up, all right? Good on him for knowing that, but I think he just did too much at once. You have to slow down and be a human being in between some of this. So Ross said, I have a one-word pattern for you, bartender. You should have bought her the drink. I know I said not to buy things for women. He's right on that. Do not. I'll talk about that here in a second. But she was ready. He should have recognized that she was ready and taken her home. He's right. There's signs like that he should have just closed and went home. Let's stop right there and go back to buying things for people, okay? First of all, do not ever buy anything for a woman at a club. I repeat, do not buy anything for a woman at a club, okay? In case you're wondering, I'm at school right now. God knows who's listening to this video, so hopefully that goes well. Anyway, here's why. Women travel in packs. No one shows up to a club alone unless they're a serial killer, okay? So women show up in packs, usually 3. There's the ugly girl, there's the fat girl, and then there's the one that we're after, all right? Usually that's the group, all right? Their goal is to not pay for anything, all right? The alpha of the group, the one that we're usually after, she don't want to pay for anything. Now, the fat girl and the ugly girl, they take what they can get, but that is the goal. Now, most men only know, let me buy drinks and, drink, and then the night's going to be great. Well, no. First of all, you need to be able to do this sober, all right? Alcohol, no. I mean, if you need to drink to fit in, go for it, but alcohol should not be your number one goal, okay? You need to learn how to do this sober and it to work sober. Forget the alcohol part, okay? 2, you're gonna find out who you have in front of you. Do you have someone in front of you that needs you to buy them a drink? Do you have someone in front of you that is independent, doesn't want you to buy them a damn thing, okay? I hope you can see the value between the two. 3, be the guy, okay? Be the guy that doesn't fall for that. Be the guy that doesn't buy them anything. That is the key. That is the ticket. That is the intrigue. Why is he different than all these other people here that just keep buying me drinks? 1, girls want to know why. But more importantly, 2, they take it as a challenge to change your mind, okay? And through that, they stay with you and they give you attention and time, okay? All right, getting back. There are different types of sexual accelerators. Here we see quotes of our dear friend. Quotes are such a versatile tool. It's really interesting when speed seduction. Sometimes if you use 1 or 2 tools and you have already good game, it will accelerate your game really well. I want you to use all the tools, but quotes by themselves can be powerful as well. I want you to look at this. This is an example I will read from the slide. He's teaching a course, but put it into his book, guys. Embedded commands are in blue. The embedded suggestions are in green. We can't see this. There's no blue and green in these pages, all right? So I'm gonna try to help here. You never know when a person is starting to feel that attraction growing, even to the point when it's on. Sometimes when you do, people say the strongest things. My neighbor told me that her friend said the guy looked at her and said, I'd like to eat your pussy all night and then get fucked. And then fuck your brains out until dawn. Did he really expect her to picture that and want to act on it now? Fuck me if I'd put up with that. Okay, that goes back to what I'm saying. You can't be saying that shit, guys, girls, in between, ever. Can't ever say it, never. I don't even know if it's safe to say it to your fucking dog or cat or peekaboo or peppaboo or whatever the hell y'all have at home. I don't think you can talk like that, okay? So the thing that I'd like to point out about that is he told a story about someone else other than himself, okay? He told a story about someone else other than himself saying these things. So if she's offended by it and you can tell real quick, then you pull back and you shut the fuck up about anything about that, okay? You don't even broach that subject anymore. If her eyes light up and she starts flipping her hair and fucking touching your arm and doing all this stuff, keep the shit going. All right, keep it going. It's working. She's loosening up. She's interested in this friend. And then you can bring it back to you if she needs you to talk that way to her, because there's people out there that need that. Let's talk about sexual metaphor, phonetic ambiguity, he says. That's a mouthful. Phonetic ambiguity, metaphor. Of all the things I teach, phonetic ambiguity is the most taken out of context by the press and the most emphasized. Phonetic ambiguity only works at the end of a chain or patterns of suggestions. If you've already got her turned on, really excited, and pictured fucking you, then she will interpret the phonetic ambiguity in a sexual way. And it'll work, he says. If she's not already in that horny state, though, the other things you're doing, the phonetic ambiguity, will not be interpreted properly by her unconsciousness. Here's some phonetic ambiguities if you want to get good at this. Write these down, he says. You can always go back to this presentation. Okay, we're going to look at these before, yeah. Feel like we're about to have visitors. Yikes. Anywho, if this video gets interrupted, that'll be the end of it. But yes, I do agree that we have to do that. So, I'm not quite, that was a visitor, sorry. Okay, that was close. I'm being too loud. All right, below, he says, below, and below, as in the blowjob pattern. Those thoughts are really from below me, Debbie. All right, below and below. This is one that was popular in the recent election here in America. I kept hearing, America needs to move in a new direction. Nude direction and new erection. I use that a lot. Again, the sentence is, this is one that was popular in the recent election here in America. I keep hearing, America needs to move in a new direction. Nude direction and new erection. Succeed and suck seed. It's amazing, Debbie, when you feel your opening and you're opening. Does that mean to masturbate or to feel that you are opening inside? Okay, back to Debbie. We've talked about Debbie into the ground. Debbie, terrible example, all right? But he's talking about Debbie opening up, okay? When you feel you're opening for an amazing new direction you want to take, it's important that you can see yourself wanting to succeed. You know you want to succeed because anything else would just be below me. Okay, below me, below me. And I'm sure it would be below you. Do you get it? Do you see what he did? Below, below. These are very good, guys. Now, dudes, write your own. Okay, write down below and all these other things, but put it into the way that you talk. Like I said in previous videos, you need this to be comfortable. It needs to come out and sound natural, the way that you talk, okay? So, your mind. It's not necessarily a sexual phonetic ambiguity that leads to a sexual direction. It is interesting. Am I saying your mind? You say when you know your mind, very carefully. And inside your mind, am I saying inside your mind? Meaning you're my possession, or inside your mind? All right, fuck that paragraph. That shit is confusing. Sorry, Ross. These sexual metaphors don't contain any phonetic ambiguity, but they are sexual metaphors. Go down, opening, feeling your opening. All right, go down and opening, great. Feeling your opening, throw that shit out the window. All right, no. There's an ambiguity there. Am I saying you're opening up to me, or am I saying you're opening your vagina? That's what he says. Penetrate, take it in. As we see from the Discovery Channel pattern, take this ride, get off. I want to emphasize again, these things don't work in isolation. if you use the tool incorrectly and just throw some phonetic ambiguities or sexual metaphors at a woman, it's not going to work. If it's at the end of a chain of suggestions or a series of patterns, then it's going to be interpreted properly by the unconscious mind, okay? So again, I'm going to stop us right there, and I'm going to tell you guys, come up with your own words and sexual metaphors. You know, blow, below. If you don't like that word, call it insinuations. There's many things that you can talk about to get girls thinking about what it is that you're wanting, okay? So write some down. If you guys come up with any that I didn't discuss in this video, comment on the video. I want to hear. I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear what you got, okay? As far as the random thought of the day for the video, I had a thought that I'm going to write a book. Now, I'd always said I was going to write a book like this for most of my life, or write a book about my life full of all my stories, which I may still do that one. But I've got a thought of a book, and it's not the copy the Netflix show You, but it's along those same lines, and it would be told by the perspective of that type of person throughout the entire book. And I have some twists and turns, but I don't know if I'm going to have time to ever start writing this thing. But yeah, I think it would be fun. Also, I do want to write not one of these books, but one about my life that pertains to a lot of this. So anyway, that's all I got for this video. We'll do another one to tag along on what we learned about these sexual metaphors and keep on going with it next time. Like, subscribe, ask comments, questions, tell me how you're doing. Tell me what I need to do better, whatever it is. And then we'll talk to you guys again. God bless you. Good luck to you, and stay the fuck out of jail. Later.